Hi, I'm Ellie. I'm the owner of Satay by the Bay SF. Today, I would like to show you how to make authentic Singaporean chicken satay as well as peanut sauce. First thing we're going to do is to cut the meat. We use halal chicken thighs. The reason is because of the fat right here. It will hold the flavor a little bit better. So we're going to cut them into strips. So people always think that satay comes from one country, but satay actually comes from all parts of Southeast Asia. Now this is my version of it because it comes from my mom and my grandmother. Every country's satay is different. If you cut in cubes, it will take longer to cook and it may be drier. If you cut them in strips, it will actually hold the flavor a little bit better. All right, so now they're all cut and I am going to put them in a bowl. So we are going to marinate the chicken right now. So we have the onion powder, garlic powder, ginger, turmeric, lemongrass powder, galangal powder, coriander, fennel, cumin, the white sugar, and I use molasses too. It is a different kind of sweetness that I choose to have just to give it some character. Don't forget the salt. And also a little bit of water so that it's easier for you to mix it. So for us Singaporeans, we like a lot of flavor. A typical Singaporean satay consists of all these ingredients as well as the spices. Now I know that Thailand, they can skewer the meat without putting any marinade. And in Indonesia, the peanut sauce is very important. And you know, they use a little bit more of the soy sauce on the skewer. And Malaysia and Singapore version are pretty similar. It also depends on the province of Malaysia or which part of Malaysia you can be. You know, I may be wrong, but the southern part of Malaysia cooking and recipes are a little bit more similar to the Singaporean style. You can actually keep it for 24 hours so that the flavor will soak into the meat. So once it's done, I'm going to put it in the fridge. Okay, it's been 24 hours and we are going to skewer. Now, how you skewer it is also very important. I would recommend that you weave it in and out of the skewer so that way it has some wave to it while still keeping it to be thin. Some people have their own way of skewering. Like you know, whatever you do, it's your skewer. See, look how easy it is to glide in through the skewers. So this is a completed skewer. Look how beautiful it is. The wave. It is actually American size, but I'm gonna show you how a typical size of a Singapore skewer looks like, okay? Ta-da! Now let's compare it with mine. It's actually 3 times bigger. All right, so here are the bunch of skewers that I have made. And now we are going to move on to the star of our food truck, which is our peanut sauce. There are so many versions of peanut sauce. Thai, there's Indonesian, there's Malaysian, and this is my version of peanut sauce. It's not my grandparents' recipe because there's a secret recipe. So this is going to be the generic Malay Singaporean version of the peanut sauce. So we're going to start with the ground ingredients or blended ingredients, which is actually the purple onions. Some people would rather use shallots because it is sweeter. Garlic. So now we're going to put all this stuff in here. Here we go. So I just want to talk a little bit more about the palm sugar. Palm sugar to me is what creates the magic. This is a little bit more milky and it is richer. You can put it like this if you want to, but you will risk it burning because it will take longer time to dissolve. You can actually use a hammer, a tenderizer, meat tenderizer if you want to cut it. So this is what I use as, for tamarind. It comes in blocks, okay? So I cut it in half, cut it smaller, and I'll soak it in water. If you want to make it even smaller for it to be easier to dissolve, it's totally fine. But we need 2 other condiments that we have not done yet, which is actually the lemongrass and the galangal. So let's go with the lemongrass first. I don't blend it, so I cut it. This is actually the core of the flavor. Cut the bottom, and you can actually, you know, peel off the outside of the lemongrass. You hammer it, and I'll just, how my mother would do it. I remember when I don't beat it hard enough and it still looks whole and my mom would say like, you did not beat it hard enough, beat it again. So here. Okay, now let's talk about the galangal. At home, we would just, you know, peel it And we're gonna treat this galangal just like the lemongrass. We're gonna beat it up. get ready to cook. All right, so first, you gotta heat up the pan. Once it's hot, you put in the oil. We use canola oil, just so you know that this is the generic recipe of the peanut sauce, not my secret recipe. So I'll just take a piece of whatever that I'm gonna put in, which is in this case lemongrass. Once you hear the crackle and it's swimming and it's bubbly, it means that it is hot. I'll put in my lemongrass. Medium heat is always good. Just fry it till you can smell. Here I have the blended onions and garlic. You can go even browner if you want to. Crispy means that the blended ingredients are not watery anymore, and you can actually see the oil that separates. It is very, very, very important to cook it to crisp, because if you don't cook it to crisp, your peanut sauce will not taste good. Crispiness means that when the onions and the garlic looks brownish, and you will see the oil coming out of the mixture. So now we are going to put the sambal, the chili, the sambal. And then guess what? We are going to cook it to crisp again. Okay, it looks like it is pretty crispy. You can see the oil right at the bottom here. I'm gonna put the galangal. This is a tamarind that I had soaked for about half an hour in hot water. That's how it looks like. See, brownish. And you can use your hand to just keep mushing it. So I put it in. This is the husk of it, or rather the pulp. Do I use it? Oh yes, of course. So just make sure that you take the seeds out. So the more pulp that you put in, the more sour it will be. So you might want to put like half of the pulp. Don't get too excited. And you stir. Now let's put in the palm sugar. I stir it first before I put in the peanuts. You can see that the peanuts I actually use, they are a little bit coarse. They are actually more like what you use for banana splits or even sundaes, okay? It has to be roasted peanuts, but as long as you don't put the whole peanuts in there, it doesn't work, okay? So go ahead and put in the peanuts. We put in the palm sugar. Now this is the other sugar that we're using, which is a white sugar, and there's a little bit of salt in there. So as you can see that this is really pasty, so I'm gonna put some water. Just don't go to town with water, please, because you don't want it to be too watery. But also remember that the peanuts will expand. You can always repair it, okay? You can always repair what you cook. Okay, this is how the peanut sauce will look like. It looks very watery right now because the peanuts have not been expanded and cooked yet. So right now what you do is that you put that on really low or medium heat, and I would say simmer for about at least half an hour to 45 minutes. Do not make this and forget about it. So you have to keep stirring it because of the ingredients that's at the bottom. Okay, it has been about 40 to 45 minutes. And it seems like my peanut sauce is ready. It's dank. Like right now it is pretty thick. When you turn the heat off, everything will gel together again and it will get thicker. All right, we're done with the peanut sauce, and now we are getting ready to grill the satay. So what I do is that I'll just put some oil, and put a brush in to see whether it is hot or not. Looks like the grill is ready. Put it in. You can hear it sizzle. I'll put more oil in here, The oil actually helps it to cook and crisp. Look at all the fire that's coming out right now. So that actually helps to crisp it and prevent your meat from being dry. On average, it takes about 6 to 8 minutes to cook. Just remember, it depends on the cut of the meat and how you skewer it. So if you look at it like how thin it is, it will actually cook about 6 to 8 minutes tops. So if you have a tiny grill in the backyard, yes, it does change everything. You got to put it on low heat, still about 6 minutes. And please do not leave your skewers on the grill and walk away, because you're gonna burn it. All right, it has been 6 to 8 minutes. It's time to take them out of the grill and plate them. Voila! Here we go. We're just gonna dip it in. Oh my God. I can actually taste the sour, the spicy, the peanuts, the sweetness of it. Piece of meat with lots and lots of flavor. If you ever want to try our food truck, you can follow us on Instagram and Facebook at Satay by the Bay SF or our website, sataybythebaysf.com. That's where you can find our schedule. And for the recipe, click the link below.
Making me nervous with that knife.
I control the knife. I mastered the knife now. See, after it what do you call that? Cut my nail. I'm good.